Mervana Island, a hidden landmass the size of 60 cities, has stood isolated for centuries, shielded by treacherous currents and storms. Ruled by the descendants of a divinely gifted ancestor, its people once battled giant monsters until 4 centuries ago when they finally claimed victory. Now they live on a land overflowing with untapped gems and precious minerals, unaware that their peaceful island is a treasure trove that would invite doom if discovered by outside empires like Morgany. Within the heart of the palace, the atmosphere is heavy with despair. The chosen heir Balthazar lies critically ill, his life force waning despite the healer's desperate attempts. The ruler, Takala, his voice raw with agony, echoes the pain of his people. The union of the royal family and their belief in the wind gods remains their only shred of hope, clinging to the prophecy that Balthazar is destined to bring change to their isolated kingdom. While Mervana prays for a miracle, the shadows of the outside world grow long. In the Central Plains, Lord Isaac, the overseer of the Taupe, discovers that 400 of his men have failed to return from the battlefield. Enraged by the defiance of William Barn and the rising tide of technology, symbolized by the hated streetlights, Isaac orders a brutal escalation of their plans, signaling a dark turn in the ongoing conflict. In Baymard, Lativia, the wife of Commander Gordon, faces her final days before returning to Armenia. Working in the orphanage has transformed her, peeling back the layers of aristocratic stoicism to reveal a woman deeply connected to the children she cares for. She has learned the joy of true motherhood, far removed from the cold expectations of noble life, and struggles to reconcile her love for this place with the duty that calls her home. The weight of departure settles upon Lativia as she says her goodbyes. Through her twin, Octavia, and the children in the orphanage, she has discovered a warmth she thought was impossible to achieve in their noble station. With gifts for the children and a heart full of memories, she prepares to leave Baymard, forever changed by the empire that taught her that family and love are worth more than any hoard of wealth. While others celebrate their time in Baymard, Xenia languishes in a cold cell awaiting her sentencing. Trapped and weakened, she waits for a rescue that feels increasingly like a fantasy. Henry Tudor, cold and resolute, has informed her that her time of delay has passed. The gears of justice are grinding, and her fate as a prisoner of Baymard is now all but sealed. The day of reckoning arrives. Xenia, once a proud noblewoman, is now a shadow of her former self, wheeled toward her sentencing. The crowd is filled with the women she once bullied, their gazes sharp with long-awaited justice. She looks for her grandfather, seeking a savior that remains absent, her green eyes still blazing with a defiance that refuses to yield even as the weight of treason charges is leveled against her. Henry Tudor stands unyielding, a monarch who has earned the respect of his people through deeds, not words. When asked how she pleads, Xenia defiantly shouts not guilty, a desperate attempt to sow doubt. But Henry remains unfazed. The evidence is overwhelming and the judgment is swift. 40 years in the Baymardian prison system, a fate that leaves the crowd in shocked silence. The final blow falls. Xenia is taken to a small room to discover her grandfather, Alpantio, captured and bound. The once mighty man is now a broken wreck, his presence shattering Xenia's last hope. Instead of comfort, she feels only bitter contempt for his failure. The reality of her situation is set in stone. The great protector she trusted has been humiliated, and she is truly alone. As the guards drag her away, Xenia screams in rage and despair. She sees her grandfather not as a victim, but as a worthless relic of a failed past. The prison experience now begins in earnest. While the Taupe organization looms in the background, their promises remain unfulfilled, leaving her to face the cold, unyielding reality of the Baymardian prison system. With the prisoner finally shipped off to Baymard and the grandfather neutralized, Henry Tudor finds a moment of hard-won peace. The weight of treason lifts, allowing him to refocus his energy on his empire's grand technological ambitions. Despite the crushing responsibilities of his crown, he finds solace in knowing he has secured the path ahead. But even as peace reigns in his heart, the shadows of the world continue to churn.